your notebooks. And backed by popular demand, everybody says the time that they learned the most at our conventions when we had panel discussions. And over at Mandalay Bay, we're gonna have a panel discussion where you're gonna get the most notes you're ever gonna get this whole convention. So get your notebook out, get your pens ready. This panel is gonna be headed by my dear friend Andy Nguyen, new EC Executive Chairman. There's only 3 of them in our company. This man made $1 million a year, part-time in our company. Welcome up the panel and Andy Nguyen.
Introducing Field Chairman Andy Nguyen, CEO Marketing Director Nguyen, Executive Vice Chairman Marla Isidro, and Executive Vice Chairman Chip Ballard.
Good morning. I can hear you. Good morning. Are you excited? Are you really excited? Who's here want to learn how to become successful in this business? You know, we have 3 leaders here, and I'd like to introduce them to you. First, we have Marla Isidro, EVC from California. She's, one of the biggest bake shop builders in 2008 and 9. So let's give Marla a big hand. We have Nguyen, a brand new CEO from San Jose, California. A $500,000 ring owner. Let's give Ming a big hand. We have Chip Ballard, EVC from San Diego, California. He made CEO in 4.5 years, a $500,000 ring earner. Let's give Chip a big hand. I'd like each of them have 1 minute to share with people what does it take to become successful in this business. Let's start with Marla.
Well, you know what? I want to start with telling you a quick story. As soon as I moved here in this country 16 years ago, I called my mom and I said, Mom, I got recruited by Westfield Malls, the biggest shopping center, as a senior accountant. She said, what's new about that? You know, what's big about that? She said, it's like planting, on somebody else's soil. You know, it's like no matter what you put in it, it's never going to be yours. She said you could put a little soil in your palm of your hand. As long as it's yours, whatever you put in it, whatever you plant in it, it will forever be yours. So guys, I would say put your blinders on, put your blindfolds on, follow your lead, and just make it happen here. Thank you. Good morning.
Lane, would you like to share with them?
Sure. The thing I know very well early up front is that my mom always teaches me that focus on the people. And if you're working with the people, you can never go wrong. The 3 things that I always remember, and it's keep it very simple, and I talk to the team, and it's actually not only the team, but whatever walk of life that I work on, is an acronym of the 3 H. Work with your hand, work with your head, and work with your heart. Work with your hand, meaning you got to lead by example. You got to do what you are going to tell other people to do. You cannot ask people to do the thing that you're not willing to do yourself. So you got to work with your hand. The second thing that I'm talking about is you got to work with your head. You got to have some kind of instruction, and at the same time, you have to have some kind of guidance for people to follow. People will not follow blindly. So that you got to have some kind of like thinking in advance. The third one is work with your heart. To me, it's like you represent your passion. If you put your heart and passions into this and use the ingredients of people, work with your hand, your head, and your heart, you're sure to be successful. So that's the easy to remember.
Thank you, man.
I love the fact that this is a business of leadership development. I'm a proud product of Pinnacle Leadership Development. And this is the business of being a good leader and developing good leaders. And I love the fact that we have the opportunity to continually grow in our company and challenge people to grow with us and rise up good leaders, because we've got a great business platform. But what's even better about that is we get to develop leaders that are the next wave of leadership in this company.
Awesome. Let's give Chip a big hand. All right. In building this great business, sometimes we have challenges. And Marla, can you share with people what is your biggest challenge in this business, how you overcome it?
You know what? I would say it's retention. Recruiting is easy. People join with their emotions. You know, when they hear a promise of a great future and it only costs $100, you know, then everybody buys into it. But then they realize later on that it takes commitment and effort to do it. And then that's when we lose them. You know, that's when they realize, that's when they go back to their comfort zone, or they think about it as being just another $100 business. You know, and then that's when they lose the whole momentum. It goes on the wrong way, and it's just how it is. But for people who commit to it, if and only if you commit, definitely it's a billion-dollar business, and it's a great place to be at, and it's a great place to raise your kids. Thank you so much.
All right. Wow. You know, in this business, one thing, to be successful, you have to be consistent. And to maintain consistency is something you have to learn. And I like to ask Ming, how, you know, you are very successful. How do you stay consistent in this business?
Actually, you know, I mean, in terms of my own personal feelings, I don't think that I'm consistent enough, but I understand the importance of consistency. When you come to consistency, I believe there's actually 3 factors that involve consistency. The number 1 thing is yourself, and the second thing is your team, your ability to communicate and actually carry the consistency to your team. The third is actually the result, the outcomes of your consistency. But of course, there's a 4th factor that you cannot control. But to me, the second factor and the third factor, which is a team and the outcome, you may not be able to control that. But the one factor that you can fully control is your own self. And that's the consistency you have to be. The business does go up, the business will go down, the wind of life will hit you one way or the other. You never think that you're always on top all the time. When the times go down, how do you bounce? That's what is more important. And then to me, the test of strength of character is actually when you hit the bottom and when you bounce back up. To me, that's more important, and you gotta be consistent. So I believe in the word I call level determination. You gotta be determined, you gotta be level all the time.
Great. Like we say, in order to be consistent, you have to be personally consistent. So when your team is not consistent, you have to set an example and have to be consistent with your personal effort. That's how you maintain consistency. All right. You know, in this business, you know, we sometimes people get promoted, get to the new level, and sometimes people get stuck at that level for a while. I mean, stuck at that plateau. And you know, Chip, I know that you know, you have such a great run last few months. And can you share with people, if they get stuck in a plateau, how do they break out of that plateau?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, I hope a plateau never happens to me in my business, because I think that that's one of the things that attracted me to World Financial Group, was the fact that you're allowed to grow on an annual basis and better yourself every year from the previous year. I honestly think plateau is a corporate America term. In corporate America, I was a manager for 25 years, and every year they just paid me a little bit more to keep me interested, but it took me 25 years in corporate America to make $250,000. In World Financial Group, I was able to do that in 2 years, in my second year, and then in my 4th to 5th year, I doubled that. And in the next 2 years, I'll be making $1 million a year. You can't do that in corporate America. So I think plateau is a corporate America term. I think the only way you plateau in WFG is if you don't master the system and you don't run the system properly. So if you learn the system, master the system, run the system, teach the system, I don't think plateau is a problem here in WFG.
Awesome. Wow. You know, in this business, every one of us someday will get to the point, either you get to your turning point. And knowing me, before you joined this business, he was a pharmacist manager, making $200,000 a year. And he started part-time here. And, you know, I want you to share with people, at what turning point in your career that made you quit a $200,000 job, go full-time? What was that turning point? All right.
Well, I mean, basically, to be honest with you, a few years ago when I come to this convention, I thought I was the bomb because I was making decent income and I was flipping houses, I make enough income. But then I just didn't know how big this opportunity could be. And on, I took it a little more seriously. And I went to one of the meetings and I qualified for an MD and above with Rich Stolley. And Sam Lowe and the penny hierarchy actually drove me to that event. And I was sitting there, about 40 of us, I was in the last guy sitting there talking. And somehow he talked to me. He said that, what if you knew, whatever you do, you cannot fail? The question is, what would you do? Obviously the answer is everything. And in that one, I took it as a challenge. And when I took it as a challenge, as I exited his house, he shook my hand, and I remember that day wasn't like a nicest day. But he looked straight into my eyes, and he said, today is a great day, isn't it? And I looked straight in his eyes, I said, today is a great day. Why? Because I decide that it is a great day, doesn't matter how the weather is. And to me, that is a turning point for this business. Of course, I have a few others, but the time will not permit. So.
Wow. All right. You know, like me, most of us start this business part-time. And who's part-time here? Huh? Can I hear you? Who's part-time here? And I start part-time. And sometimes people who start part-time, they think that they cannot make a lot of money here. Sometimes they think that, you know, they are disadvantaged. You know, I know Marla started out part-time. To share with people, what is the power of a part-timer?
Oh wow, that's a good question. You know what? It's a great transition from going from a job to going to full-time, or any business to going to full-time, because you get the regularity of paycheck, and then also you get to commit time, and you'll have quality time because you only have a few hours in a day to really put in. So you probably have an hour or two. So you have the quality of time. And then, because you don't need that much money, because you still have the regularity of income, you know, you be focused on the mission instead of the commission. So it's a great way to start. I started part-time, just like what you said. And, you know, I was an accountant. I had a water store, a small business. I have 2 kids at that time. I have 5 and 7-year-olds. My husband is a truck driver, so he's only home 3 days in every 2 months. So he's only home 3 days in a month. 2 months. And so I was like a single mom, if you may say it. So it was perfect for me to be able to transition into the business. And 3 months into being part-time, I definitely quit my full-time job, sold the water store, and I was able to come in full-time. That's how great it is to be a part-timer.
Thank you, Marla. You know, in this business, one thing you want to learn is how to create momentum, how to create explosion in your business so you can move your team to the next level. I was watching the leader bulletins. I was watching Chip number. And in May, he has one of the best months in his bracket. So Chip, can you share with the people here, how do you create that explosion? What was the catalyst?
Well, one of the turning points for me was, first of all, you know, I began as a producer because I had to produce. I don't know if you're aware, but 2008 happened to America, and it happened to me, and it happened to my family. And Eric Olson gave me a code number, and at the time I thought, what a blessing to me and my family. And what I realized is that that's a blessing that I'm supposed to give to others. So I transitioned from a producer to becoming a builder. Eric Olson said, Uncle Chip, if you need to really do this long term, you need to become a builder. So Eric Olson taught me to build, and he also taught me to duplicate. So he says, you're a good producer, but you need to duplicate yourself. So I transitioned from producer to builder, and I focused on leadership development. So we've got great leaders like Michael Sharonowski in Florida, taught him to be a builder and a producer. And in California, Alex and Stephanie Haynes, we focused on them in leadership development. And it's more of a team effort to get that kind of thing. No one person can do what we did. It's only because we have a great team and we focus on leadership development.
All right, thank you, Chip. The three leaders here have shared with you, how to become successful in this business. And the question I'm asking them, at least, and the question that most of the time when people come here, they have to know how to overcome. And what I like to do with each of you, I like to have 1 minute, just have a closing remark, give people an advice, what you think when they go after the convention, should they do. So let's start with Marla here, okay?
Oh, wow. Well, I would like to start with, on behalf of my husband and my 3 kids, Kobe, Jet, and Amia, and definitely our great team, all the way at the MGM. I want to say hi to everyone, and really this business is an amazing business. I'd like for you to look at it as a long-term goal. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, or you could look at it as a relay, where you could relay it to somebody else and really get them to do leadership too. And so it's a great business to be at, and wanted you to focus on having a great team, having a great life, having a great lifestyle, and change your legacy forever. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marla. Wayne, would you like to share with people?
Sure. Basically, as any business, there will be challenges that we all will be facing. As long as you face the challenges heads on, and you get better. As long as you don't give up. But then one thing that I want to make sure that all of us understand is, of course, this business is a team business. We all got to do this together. So as long as we stay together, being united, at the same time, like Marla said, it is not a sprint, it's a marathon, but at the same time, you want to do it right, and always do it right from the beginning, from the ground up. Your business will be forever grateful. And at the same time, the associations we have, we want to do it, we want to build it up, we want to have a successful organization. But at the same time, never forget the basic foundations of doing it right, and do it right always. When in doubt, always go right. When in doubt, always do the right things. We're human, sometimes we're making mistakes, but at the same time, we got to learn from it, we can grow from it, and do the right things always. And always invest in the people, because there's no better place to invest. It may be the hardest thing to invest, but of course, at the same time, you get the unlimited award because human has unlimited potential. So thank you, team, and thank you to every one of us.
Thank you, Wayne. Would you like to share with people?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, thanks to the amazing leadership in World Financial Group and at the home office, and all the leaders that built it before, like Monty Home and Jack Linder, and they really laid down a great foundation for us to build our businesses upon. And I love how Joe DePaula came up and asked who was new here, and a lot of people stood up. They're brand new, first year here. I challenge you, take lots of good notes. Bring a lot of good golden nuggets home with you and some great takeaways, and use that to build your business on the foundation that the great leaders before us laid down for us, because this is really just the beginning. I'm really excited for where we've been, but I'm even more excited for where we're going as a company. And I see the vision. I see what's happening in 2020 and beyond. And I see the huge need for us as a business to deliver for Americans on that crusade of no family left behind. So I challenge you, take what you learn here, bring it back for you and your team, and build a huge, thriving business. I've only been here 6 years, and I'm on stage with these great leaders like Andy and Marla, and I'm just so thrilled to be here. So thanks for this great opportunity, and I'm going to keep building it big, and I challenge you to do the same thing.
Now that we have learned the secret from these 3 successful leaders, I want to share with you that in this business, doesn't matter where you are right now, in 90 days, you can change your life. In 90 days, you can move your team to the next level. And I believe now is the right time. I think from the company, we have the right leadership. We have Joe DePaula that did such a great job in the last 5-6 years. From the products point of view, we have all the products that we need. From the system point of view, we are right now, I think, really, optimized. And from the compensation point of view, I think we are second to none. So if I were you, once you leave this convention, commit yourself to the next 90 days, laser beam focus, and implement what you learned from these 3 leaders and other leaders in this company next few days. And in 90 days, if you run what we call a 90-day Mad Man, a 90-day Mad Woman cycle, you can move your team to the next level and you can change your life. So I want to thank you for your time, and we'll see you guys at the top. Thank you, guys.